All right, guys, Wes here. Welcome back to the channel. And today we've got a bunch of stuff to talk about for Spider-Man 2. As you guys know, we got the story trailer at Comic-Con, and holy crap, does it look insane. This game just keeps getting better and better every time Insomniac reveals new details about the game. So in addition to the little details that have surfaced on the internet over the last few weeks, Insomniac Games recently held a panel at Comic-Con called Symbiotic Relationships, where they not only revealed a ton of new info about the game, but they also showed off a brand new story trailer that gave us our first look at Venom in action, as well as a ton of main plot details that kind of give us a better idea of what this game is going to be like when we finally get our hands on it on October 20th. So like I said, we're going to go over everything that we know about Spider-Man 2. I'm going to give you guys a brief breakdown of the trailer, talk about some of the Easter eggs and references you guys may have missed. So check the video chapters to optimize your viewing experience. And if you want to win a PS5, I'm giving one away to one lucky subscriber. As soon as I hit 130,000 subscribers, I've given away like 8 PS5s so far. So this is your chance to win the limited edition Spider-Man 2 PS5. So let's start the video off with the story trailer breakdown for Spider-Man 2. In the first scene, we have Harry Osborn and Peter Parker talking at Midtown High, with Harry explaining that he got a second chance at life and he's going to take full advantage of that. And then he said these words, "I'm going to heal the world." Now remember these words because they're going to be critical pretty soon. In this scene, we have Peter Parker and Miles Morales swinging together with a new never before seen angle of Spider-Man 2's world. It fades to this shot right here with Peter and all of his friends on Coney Island. We have Harry Osborn, we have MJ, a new look for MJ. We've got Miles Morales sporting a new haircut, and then of course Peter Parker introducing everybody. Miles then mentions that Peter has a new job and asked if he still had time tutoring. Now in Spider-Man Miles Morales for PS5 and the prequel comic, they kind of hinted at Peter Parker getting a job as a teacher, so we're not exactly sure what this job is going to be. It could be that he is taking a job as a butler, but I doubt that's the case. I think this is more of just an investigation or some type of undercover work that Peter is doing. We get another shot of the overhead of New York, and then it puts us to this building right here, and it has Grizzly, who's known by the name of Maxwell Markham, who used to be a professional wrestler who then got outed by J. Jonah Jameson, whose articles got Maxwell expelled from wrestling. Years later, he met with the Jackal, who gave him the Grizzly Bear suit and an exoskeleton harness, which amplified his strength and durability, and then he used that harness to attack the Daily Bugle. So maybe we'll see something where we have to save J. Jonah Jameson from Grizzly, which I think would be pretty interesting. Maybe then J. Jonah Jameson will see us in a much more favorable light. But let's be honest, this is J. Jonah Jameson we're talking about, so he's probably going to find a negative spin to it, regardless if Spider-Man saved his life or not. We then get a shot of Peter Parker using the new Wing Glide suit. We have our first look at MJ with the brand new design. MJ looks a lot better than what she did in Spider-Man PS4, so I'm glad they decided to refresh the model for both MJ as well as Peter Parker because they look a lot more natural. In this scene, we have Peter Parker, who is currently a butler at the time. Maybe he got a job from Craven, or he was just doing this job for extra work. If you look at the lighting as well as just the location, it seems like it's the same spot that Miles Morales confronts all of Craven and his henchmen. Now, if we take a look at this shot right here, it looks like we have Dr. Kurt Connors with other Oscorp security guards. This is likely the events that happened right after the Venom symbiote saved Harry Osborn and then broke out of Oscorp and was found on the ground right here. In the next shot, you have Peter and Miles, who seem like they're kind of dealing with some stuff in their relationship. Maybe Miles susses out Harry Osborn and Peter's like, "Hey, that's my friend, stop doing that. He's perfectly fine." But Miles is like, "No, there's something wrong with this dude, so you got to be careful with him." Moving on to this shot right here, we have Martin Lee is back, who is of course Mr. Negative, and you have Miles Morales, who is confronting Mr. Negative, and he's like, "Hey, you know what you took from me? You killed my father." So that will be interesting to see how Miles kind of copes with that. Fast forward a bit to this scene right here, you have Peter Parker, who is officially symbioted out of his mind right now, and it's got Mary Jane completely afraid of Peter Parker, with MJ saying, "Go help him, Miles." We go to this shot right here, we have Miles Morales confronting all of the henchmen of Kraven the Hunter. Like I said though, if you look at this lighting right here, it looks very similar to the same shot where Peter was actually acting as a butler, most likely investigating Kraven the Hunter's mansion or whatever layer he's at. Moving on to this shot right here, we have Norman Osborn and Harry. Norman is saying, "I'm not going to lose you," with the Venom symbiote behind him. So I'm guessing this is after the Venom symbiote bonded with Harry and saved his life, and then eventually broke out of Oscorp and eventually had to be retrieved from Dr. Kurt Connors and Oscorp security guards. Moving to this shot, we have Harry Osborn. It seems like he's really upset. I think that's the cane that he's throwing out the window. Not really sure why he's so angry right now. I'm sure it has to do with possibly some tension between Peter and Harry. And then we have this shot of, it looks like Harry Osborn looking out at New York City saying, "We're going to heal the world," which honestly, that seems like definitive proof that Harry Osborn is indeed going to be Harry Osborn in this game. game, but who knows, this could be misdirection. We'll talk about that a little bit more in a bit. The trailer then ends off with a new look at Venom. He's going completely ham on a Kraven the Hunter helicopter, and he's just doing what Venom does, just goes completely Zerg mode and healing the world. Now, whenever they say healing the world, this most likely means that Venom is going to try to turn as many people into the symbiote and infect the entire world and turn them all into one symbiote. Granted, it will indeed heal the world, but it'll also change the world that we know forever. That is, unless Peter Parker and Miles Morales are able to stop them, which honestly, it sounds like Miles Morales is going to have to do some hard carrying in this game to try to save Peter Parker from the symbiote. So like I talked about in the breakdown portion of this video, the first thing you guys probably want answers to is Venom's secret identity. This trailer focused a lot on Insomniac's new version of Venom, and he looks freaking amazing. He's huge, he's intimidating, and his voice is spot on. But one question still remains unanswered, and that question is kind of just, is Venom actually Harry Osborn? Now, this trailer basically confirms that yes, it is indeed Harry Osborn, but there are still some people holding out hope that it's going to be Norman. I don't think that's the case, especially after this trailer basically revealed Harry's main motivation is to heal the world, and it's implied that he's willing to go to great lengths to achieve that goal. And like I said, whenever we hear Venom speak for the first time, he said he's going to heal the world as well, which that's a pretty dead giveaway. One way or another, Harry Osborn is going to end up as Venom. Maybe he's not going to stay like that the whole time, but he will some way, somehow. But what if it's like the Little Shop of Horrors, where Venom's symbiote has been quietly growing in secrecy with Harry? It helps cure him and support him physically, but also slowly grow in its power until it's big enough to take control of the situation itself. Maybe I'm just reading too much into the trailer. It could be a misdirection, but I doubt that's going to be the case. Harry Osborn will be our Venom. Next up, a lot of the Comic-Con panel was focused on Venom and Insomniac's interpretation of the character, and while they chose their words carefully, we did learn a lot about this new version of the iconic villain. According to the panel, Venom will have a joyous quality in his destruction in the new game, which was perfectly shown off in the trailer. Voice actor Tony Todd described playing the character as the most exciting voice acting journey he's had, so Insomniac pretty clearly understands what makes the character so loved, even if they're changing his backstory to fit a new character, which I'm completely okay with. On top of the details for Venom, we also got confirmation that Mr. Negative from the first Spider-Man game will be returning, and just like in my breakdown portion of this video, he will have a face-off with Miles, which will be very interesting. The trailer also teased conflicts between the two Spider-Man once the symbiote takes control of Peter, so it sounds like both Spider-Man are going to get a ton of story-focused content, and it won't be too lopsided in favor of one or the other. Now, in addition to the new story trailer, we got an official reveal of the limited edition PS5 console and controller. Like I said, I'm giving one away. If you'd like to win, check the pinned comment for that. But the beauty, if you don't want to drop hundreds of dollars on a new console right away, you could buy this limited edition controller completely separately, and that's the same way with the plates as well, which I have to say is such a pro-consumer move by PlayStation, and I'm happy that they did that. Now, there have been a number of rumors floating around that Sony is actually planning a major showcase in August, and it kind of makes sense. Their spring showcase was extremely underwhelming, and we know that Sony is working on a ton of major projects and surely have a lot of PC ports to announce, so an August showcase totally makes sense to me. But the question is, will Spider-Man 2 be there? Do we really need to see more gameplay for Spider-Man 2, or are we all completely convinced to buy the game just from the story trailer and the gameplay trailer and reveal alone? Personally, I am fine with not seeing anything else about Spider-Man 2. We've gotten plenty of details, and I think that it will all suffice, but I definitely want to hear your thoughts on that. Maybe they could confirm that Venom is playable. That might be cool, but besides that, I really don't need anything else. But with all of that being said, there have been some concerns raised about the game following the story trailer, and after watching it a few more times, I can kind of see where people are coming from. Some people have pointed out that the facial animations are a little bit stiff and that the animations in general look kind of last gen, but I'm not entirely sure I agree. Obviously, the game is in a pre-launch state, so once the game gets closer to launch, it's gonna look a lot better. Spider-Man 2 is more stylized than I was expecting it to be, and I don't think Insomniac was going for a totally lifelike world, which I frankly think is a good thing, because hyper-realistic games usually age the worst in my opinion. The art style is a nice middle ground between total realism and something more comic book-esque, and I personally love it. So sure, the faces do look a bit off in certain places, but at the end of the day, who cares? We will all survive if some of the facial animations are a little bit rough. But one thing that I'm actually a bit concerned about is the technical state of the game. A lot of AAA console releases in 2023 have been absolutely terrible in terms of technical performance, and with how common 30 FPS is becoming, a lot of people have raised concerns over how this game is going to run on the PS5. There were a couple moments during the gameplay reveal that made things look a little rough, and there was a moment during the story trailer that looked rough, and that was unfortunately right when we got to the center stage shot of Venom roaring. Right before that, you could see a hefty frame drop on the in-engine cutscene, and I know that may sound like a small thing to you guys, but with how buggy the AAA gaming industry has been recently, I think it's fair for people to be a little bit concerned about this. Personally, I'm expecting Spider-Man 2 to be 30 FPS in quality mode and a 60 FPS performance mode, but as for how consistently it will hold those frame rates, I'm definitely trying to manage my expectations. But what do you guys think about Spider-Man 2 after all of this new information was released? Are you more or less excited? Do you think this game will give Starfield and Tears of the Kingdom some competition in terms of the running for Game of the Year, or do you think it's not going to be quite to that level? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. Do me a favor, like the video, don't forget to enter the PS5 giveaway, and until next time, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.